椰子爱的，呀，嘿。
This is your brain when you're struggling to focus. And this is your brain when you're in the zone.
One, two. Hey. One, two. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. 你带儿有主地的味啊，我妈手工没味，有主见了没家，大娘，蹦蹦蹦，蘑菇蘑菇，娘，这不得笑，蹦蹦蹦，呀，娘娘，哇，蹦蹦蹦蹦蹦蹦蹦蹦蹦蹦蹦蹦蹦蹦蹦蹦。椰子爱的，呀，嘿，one two，呀，蹦蹦蹦，蹦蹦蹦，蹦蹦蹦，呀，蹦蹦蹦，蹦蹦蹦，蹦蹦蹦。呀，蹦蹦蹦，蹦蹦蹦，蹦蹦蹦，呀，蹦蹦蹦，你带儿有主地的味啊，我妈手工没味，有主见了没家，大娘，蹦蹦蹦，蘑菇蘑菇，娘，这不得笑，蹦蹦蹦，呀，娘 냐. 와. 뿜. 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 Vtuber 쇼. 야, 냐, 냐. 와.
Yo. Hello, cocksuckers. I am late, but I have a good reason why I was late. Somebody fucking spoiled the latest Warhammer novel, and I've been reading it. God forbid I find a hobby, alright? I couldn't help it. The novel comes back and comes to December, and the guy actually has the real, literal, albeit German, copy. Good old Germany, the source of all leaks. Alright. So, basically, I've been gone. No. And while I've been gone, mental health, and also work. A lot of work, actually. I had to also like sign in for my master's degree, and well, I got accepted in the preliminary list. Since I'm in smack dab in the middle, I think I'm safe to say I am gonna have my master's, at least gonna be accepted in there. I don't know whether I will get there or not, but since I started, I have to finish it. And work is work. I had to take a long hours break because I know my mental. Like, I have depressive disorder. You kinda have. I kinda have these moments, especially since for me, for writing these scripts I wanted to do, I have writer's block, and sadly, because of that, it's unpleasant. Like, it's very hard to write, but you just can't write something good. That's why I've been taking so long to make videos as well, because I have writer's block. I've been writing so much legal shit that I have writer's block. Let me just check. I'm checking behind the scenes. I think I'm where I left off. So we're at the breakdown part of the segment. I vividly remembered that, but I can't remember exactly where I was. I skimmed over the parts where I feel like it's familiar to me, that I remember. And if I feel like that, I already read it. And if I missed, please do correct me. But anyhow, let's get on to it, shall we? Wow, reading this little part now of where Bao is, after all of the shit that happened, oh boy, do I feel conflicted a little bit after Bao's own little shitsy doodle, as I will call it. All right. So, Bao streamed the night after posting her tweet in response to my apology, just like her document. I haven't watched this stream because at the time that was happening, I was asleep. but I remember Bao saying some stuff. I remember Bao leaking some shit that Nana and Lily did not say, and at least tried to hide, which kind of diluted the waters a little bit. And when I say diluted, pardon me, not diluted the waters, made the whole situation even more sus. But yeah, so Sinder gives us transcripts of these parts. I don't need to watch the clips then, in my opinion, because I don't have a lot of time. So we're just gonna read all of this shit and then, yeah, that's basically it. Because, like I said, I have a job. I have a fucking job. And wanted to stream yesterday, by the way, for those who are probably familiar and watched the timestamps. Well, dates change. Yesterday they did the earthing for the whole flat, not just my flat, but the whole building. And half of the day, I did not have at all power. Half of the day. It was a Remembrance Day, so there was no work. Nobody worked, but apparently these dudes did. And then my ISP decided to shit the brick, so I just couldn't. So I changed the dates. I managed to do it somehow on Wi-Fi. I basically nabbed my laptop, logged into it. I went to a cafe where they had internet, and I just changed the dates. I tried to write some scripts on it, but like I said, writer's block is a bitch. Well, I don't know. I can't even remember what was the conversation like, because I was just in a state of... It was like hearing what Lily and Nano are telling me, but it's like I cannot compute it. I just remember seeing the screenshots. I'm gonna be honest with y'all now. After Bao's little escapades that were recent, I sorta don't believe her. Now, before somebody calls me a fucking misogynist, I thought the first tweet of you know, don't walk, run. You know the tweet. I think it was alright. I saw the message. I think it was poorly worded a little bit and could have been changed. That's why I wrote my own version of it, which was acceptable, in my opinion, more because making it gender-based is kind of weird for me, specifically because I actually have a good example of the opposite, where the female, bigger female streamer is in Miskiv's position, and I was the one who was on the smaller end. For those who don't know, Succulicious. Oh boy, she's a ooh, that person is a whole different fucking red flag. But basically, Succulicious for TLDR was a very upcoming VTuber who was suspiciously blowing up a lot. Ironically, it was because later on we found out it was botting. But I remember this was 4 years ago now at this point, like 3 or 4 years ago. She was all of us supporting me because of the whole other drama regarding a very promising VTuber Discord server whose owner got exposed for being indecent towards a minor, a 17-year-old. And all of a sudden, I was thrust into the position of the sub-owner of the server. Mind you, I have never talked with that person before. Never. I think I only interacted with him once, and that was only when he said, and the only thing was he invited me to the server. Their name is Demon Lord Lucy. You'll probably find something about it, so I don't need to go into detail, but Sin was adamant at hunting this person. That's why I met them. And I wanted to get this person to fuck off. Not Sin back then, but Lucy, because they were Sudoku, quote unquote, baiting. Like, they were genuinely threatening to hurt themselves. And me and the Dark, basically, managed to get Lucy stable and get them to piss off of the server because he did something towards a 17-year-old. But back to the point, then Sin Succulicious all of a sudden was trying her best to fucking get me into her good graces. I don't know why. I was small. Probably she saw because I was a law student back then. and saw that I was good with my words and stuff like that. But she was promising a lot of people, myself included, that she would help them, support them, grow on Twitter, yada yada yada. Now, my red flags were constantly flaring up with this bitch. And turns out I was right, because then she was found out to be a ped. Oh yeah. Like, kind of hindsight is 2020, given the fact how she was so adamant on getting Lucy to fuck off enough community from the plane of existence, basically. And turns out she herself did something sus to a minor. And I was in her server basically acting as a spy. I was there remotely trying to find out if she, because I knew for a fact she was going to do something. It was a ticking time bomb. And I was there to see and document everything when it happened. Turns out I wasn't the only one who was doing that, so I did not have to do shit. But, oh boy, was that a fucking story. Then it all happened because of Raydal Luna. Raydal got exposed for her own controversies, sus controversies, anyhow. But yeah, basically TLDR, a lot of sus people, when they're really going after each throat, both of them are bad people, and there's a 50-50 chance both of them will be exposed for something bad. And I wanted to explain that to people at the time about Bao, but they were so vitriolic. I just wanted to keep my mouth shut because I was in a good mental headspace back then. But I want to explain a little bit, because I can now, where it's, yes, it's usually men, but it's big streamers in general who very much love bomb you, offer your support out of nowhere. You should be suspect about them. Men and women do that. Both do that. I, as a criminal lawyer now, I'm gonna tell you straight up, in real life, both genders do that quite frequently. Men do a lot more because of the power dynamics a little bit. But women also do it. Much more than people on Twitter say. I'm gonna straight up tell you, much more than people think. And I'm speaking now from experience. So don't listen to whatever fucking thousands of follower Twitter, because most of them are laymen and have never experienced this type of shit. And when I say that, I mean prosecuting this shit, study this shit, see it far more frequently they do. It's not common, but I see it far more than they do. So at least listen to somebody, if not me, but somebody who is very much more in practice in these types of stuff. But yeah, and my problem, back to Bao, my problem with Bao wasn't the initial tweet. It was her streams. It was her streams afterwards. There were like, what, 2 or 3 after this, where she basically, for me, who was basically on her side on that situation, just didn't like the wording a little bit. I think it would have been, it should have been worded better. But then again, I'm a lawyer. I kind of know. I kind of can't expect a Vtuber who is not. Most Vtubers are not good with their words, by the way. They should get training a little bit. The big streamers definitely should get PR training. They can hire consultants. They have money and they still don't do that. I swear to fucking God. But the later streams basically kind of switched me a little bit, because it gave me a doubt where, well, I think the generalization was on purpose there, Bao. And then the shit about Skeb and her just went going. It's all engagement farming, engagement baiting and stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. Nah. No, you're fucking with me now. No, you worded that on purpose. You knew you were gonna get into a shitstorm, and you wanted that shitstorm. At this point, I don't think Bao is, and Bao has a pattern of acting like this since 2022, I think. After she and Yunio stopped hanging out much publicly, she really started to, how do I say this, not control herself a little bit. Now I get with her brother and aunt stuff. By the way, those who are saying that she's lying about her brother and her aunt without any proof are actual scumbags, and I don't condone that. I will believe what of that extremely serious thing until I've been proven otherwise. I need proof of that. The timing is kind of inconvenient because, you know, her shit apology, basically. But at this point, I very much distrust Bao regards to Sinder. Because remember, her, the whole topic about her is that, even I said it, that she was not that guilty. But now, after all of this, the maliciousness and her blaming Pyropups out of nowhere. Mind you, I'm not biased towards Sinder at all. Like, as of this moment now, even before, I was a little bit biased towards Silver, but at this point, every single one of these people, except for Cottontail and Numi a little bit, are just high school mean girls. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. I said this multiple times during this whole little fucking series, but they're fucking mean girls. And I genuinely advise people to be wary of everyone, including Sinder. Hell, be wary of Numi as well a little bit. Cotton is the only, and I do mean without a shadow of a doubt, the only innocent person involved in this situation, and spite a little bit. like Cinder is 50%. Cinder rather 50% to blame of this. At least a good chunk of it was for Silver because the moment they saw that all of the terms of Cinder being banned on Silver's chat and everything, they should have fucked off. Like, seriously, they should have just fucked off, forget about Silver. Yes, it's fucking that disappointing you're a fan of hers and stuff like that, but it was clear and obvious. Sure, Silver should have told her to fuck off, but it was Cinder at the end with Red enabling that stupid fucking insecurity. And I will stand my fucking foot. I'm sorry, Pyropuffs, but no. Like, there's now a narrative where they're starting to blame Silver for Cinder's own bullshit. But Cinder could have stopped at that point, and Red should have not enabled that fucking toxic behavior, because he himself is toxic. That's why I still say Red should not be in any managerial position or any position of power regarding Cinder. Because he's an enabler of bad behavior. And they should have just fucked off from the get-go. And a lot of their problems would not have happened. A lot of their problems would have not have happened. That they should have fucked off the moment they saw one, Silvervale blocking any mentions of her, and two, the mod talks. Like, sure, it was extremely shitty and all, come on, dude. At that point, I would have just, you know what? Fuck this shit. Like, any normal person would have just said, fuck this shit. Forget about this person. I'm gonna move on and do my own thing. I'm gonna grow out of spite. I won't sabotage anybody. I'll just focus on me and grow and become better. And a lot of these problems would not have happened. At the end of the day, it's Cinder's own fault for a good chunk. She should have not let her insecurities bite her in the ass. But that's my opinion. Because remember, I pre-read a lot of the Silvervale segment. I haven't read all of it. But at this point, I kind of know what's in there. Got my coffee. But yeah, back to the point. Now with the recent Bao stuff, I'm heavily questioning what Bao is saying. I'm heavily questioning because, and also for people who were very surprised of Bao's immature behavior. Remember, she has a pattern at this point since 2022. You know, beta cuck, the infamous beta cuck male comments under Serotina. You know, like I vividly remember that little fucking comment. I couldn't find that shit, so whoever found it, God bless you, because I vividly remember that stuff. Like I said, I've been in the Vtubing community kinda just before it was blowing up on Twitch. Kinda. And I've been a VTuber since 21. So I've seen the rise of many of these now recent big VTuber, indie VTubers. I've seen the rise of VShoujo, the first streams and everything. And I saw the fall. I outlived VShoujo. Anyhow. But yeah. Oh yeah, after all this, I'm gonna read the Miskiff lawsuit. Oh, do I have words about the Miskiff lawsuit? Listen, I'm not an American lawyer, but I can read lawsuits, even if they're in English. I can understand them. The shit I've seen, man. The shit I've seen. If this somehow manages to get into discovery, like the judge says, fuck it, we'll do it. Oh my god, I will be laughing my ass off when the discovery happens, but that's a different story for another day. If that happens, I will be covering it non-stop, and I will be cackling like a fucking maniac, because I know for a fact it will be stupid shit there. But yeah, what did Nano tell Bao? And how much did Shylily say for her? Like, here's the thing. I genuinely believe that Nano believed that Sinder was looking at Shylily like she did with Silvervale. How she was constantly trying to screw over Silvervale and ergo Shylily. And Nano got worried about that because she was seeing the pattern. And she saw, well, this is not gonna be good because Lily is now a piggy bank for me, like Sinder and like Silvervale. And at this point, she should cut out one of them because she has a safe net, Shylily and Silvervale. So Nano basically cut her losses. Lily saw a chance to fuck over Sinder for whatever reason she thought. You know, Sinder really did not help with her very, very unhealthy attachment to her business. The fact that she wanted everything to be done on a stream, even hanging out, like playing WoW with Lily, for instance. She said to Lily that she wants Lily to teach her on stream how to play WoW. In my opinion, that's something you don't do on stream. That's a private moment where you bond with your co-workers, basically, and your friend, and so you have a better partnership. Like, really, like how hard it is to just take a time out of your schedule, 2 hours max, to play a game with your friend. Okay. Like, seriously, how much of these fucking VTubers cannot time manage? Like, are you fucking kidding me? I know it's a one-man show and stuff like that, but you had a manager called Red that was supposed to be helping with that. But nope. Apparently not. Like I said, like this is some when my biases are now completely fucking gone, all right? Like I'm not gonna give like when the video covering all of this eventually happens, I'm gonna ruffle some feathers, a lot of feathers, whether it be Shylily fans, Silver Rail fans, and Pyro Puffs. Like I already got fucking Pyro Puffs even beforehand, really trying to be defensive now and trying to spin the narrative when no, don't coddle Sinder. You're enabling her behavior. Like, you should have, like, they're doing the same thing that Bao's fans are doing when the recent drama happened, with them enabling her bad behavior. It's almost the exact same thing, but different wording. No, that's bad. Stop being parasocial fucking creeps. Take accountability. Like, I'm biased. The only person in this whole situation, if for instance Shondo was in this fucking thing, I would be completely biased towards her. Like, I'm not even sugarcoating it. Well, I thought I was, but then the drama happened with Shondo, and I heavily criticized her publicly. So I clearly have proven that I can separate my bias when somebody, even my Oshis, are wrong. And that's what you call a healthy connection. But a lot of people can't do that. It's cult indoctrination. What can I say? And I'm an I've been trained to know that, by the way. In every scenario I try to wrap up, this I vividly remember this part of the battle. Now I read that and I vividly remember it. Oh yeah, by the way, since I can see, I can't hide the view counts on OBS. Please help my friend who, I pinned the comment. My friend is trying to raise funds for her cancer treatment. She needs to get 100% by March. She's raised so far 2k pounds, which is for her something miraculous, but even then, please support her if you can. If you can monetarily, I basically plead you to share the Ko-Fi link around. That is in the pinned section in the chat, whatever, pinned message in the chat. But yeah. And if you really need me to fucking season my message, because some people on Twitter won't do that unless I say this specific word, apparently. They're also trans. They're British. The NHS sucks balls. Like, astronomically sucks balls. It's not what it was way back before. It literally is worse than its accessibility is worse than American healthcare. I'm gonna say it straight up. And American healthcare is notorious for being not accessible to everyone. Anyhow, I try to wrap them on my head what I would have done if I was in their shoes, and I just can't. I couldn't understand that we've been through so much offline, online, that there's nothing more confusing and more painful than seeing someone in your friend group be so kind and warm to everyone around you, feeling that they slowly become colder and colder towards you, not knowing what you did or it's your imagination. But because everyone loves them, you don't know if you want to say anything, but you also keep it to yourself and you keep hoping that it's your imagination. But then the cruel realization hits. It wasn't, that it's even worse than you could have imagined, and you wonder why all those times they talked over you or ignored you if you had done something wrong. And I just kept asking to myself about, oh yeah, apparently also the restaurant owner who she was arguing with was racist, but then again, Bao didn't talk about how she was lashing out allegedly towards her friend, which Red was mentioning. like I said, this is a messy thing, and it's mean girl behavior. Like I say, if we somehow manage to blow up, I am really gonna be very much holding every single person here at arm's length until they've proven, at least to me, that they either better themselves or they show something else, basically. Like, also, if people who are expecting somebody to make a comment, don't expect Silvervale to make a comment at all, because at this point she came out relatively unscathed. Hell, she has more viewership than Sinder right now. Yeah, I've measured it actually. Now, Sinder streams at times, I can't see all the Sinder stream, watch the whole length of Sinder streams, but recently, like, but I can for Silver, because ironically she streams in a convenient time for me. Silver is averaging like 4K viewers. Sinder right now, at least this week, had 2K, around 2K viewers. All I'm gonna say. Bao couldn't understand what happened because she didn't have the full context or ever know the motivations and reasoning behind it was explained in her section. Red and I never talked to her when we should have, and I'm sorry to Bao for that. Finally, accountability. After a lot of the deflection that was in here, I vividly remember that. Hold up. Whew. I almost spoiled everyone. Oh shit, I forgot to put the link. Oh, I did. I thought I didn't, but I did. Right, excellent. I genuinely thought I didn't. Sometimes I'm stupid. Anyhow. Let me just find my there we go. Everyone knows how special a VTuber's debut is. That's kind of the most important day in the VTuber's career, which is sort of true. All the preparation and foresight needed to make it happen. No one tells you how stressful the project management is. I mean, I can't see much. I spitballed my own debut, but then again, I was a broke-ass student back then. I'm a broke-ass lawyer now because I have to volunteer for 2 fucking years. I don't have a pay. Like, the only source of income could be streaming. And even then, this channel is not monetized. My Twitch is monetized. And I'm not streaming there. So I'm effectively doing all of this for free because I said I would start and finish the fucking this Sinder document until basically all of the community says, nah, you don't need to do it anymore. Then I'm just gonna go back to my Warhammer marathon. All the coordination with merch shops have to do with everything came out of the dot, making sure, but I mean, when you're doing this professionally, it kind of makes sense. Because you have to set yourself up out of the fucking whole ass industry at this point. It is kind of stressful. And again, you should not let it eat you. I'm gonna say straight up. Making sure that at the same time you're planning everything, you're having to advertise it, you know, you look at the content creator online, and even though you're seeing one person on the screen, behind person is a really big team they have to coordinate with. It takes a lot of time. And if you're a VTuber, you have Alls and Live 2D artists to work with, you know they're booked out sometimes years in advance. Yeah, the big ones, definitely, absolutely. And have a sudden cancellation like that happen so suddenly right in the middle of everything happening is it's so I can't even begin. Yeah, I remember this. I really remember this. Yeah, there are some models basically there are some VTubers that have planned I know some of them. I know some VTubers and they have very much at least a year in advance booked their model. And it's mostly not just the art, it's the rigging that they're booking the most, because the rigging is hard to find. I completely sympathize with what Bao said here, which is the part of the reason why Nana was so important to Red and I as my model artist. Yeah, and Red screwed your friend over. You enabled him because you enable him via Silvervale, so he used that chance when he was trying to screw over Silvervale to screw over other people he did not like. You kinda enabled him, Sinder. Oh my god. Oh shit, I forgot the most important part. I also forgot the most important part of this whole series. My BP. My bullet point. How dare I, a lawyer, not have bullet points? Yep. So far, there's no need to put bullet points in because this is just recapping a lot of stuff. But Cinder's now giving her comments. There's so many ways to be competitive and still not hurt other people in the process. And I don't know. I feel like when she was so much smaller than me, she was just starting out. I still remember showing up, calling her on a random stream, just making a little bit out of it. And like her, I speak for I think I speak all of my friends, but we wouldn't be where we are if we weren't there for each other. I've never was never competitive towards Bao in the same way I was towards Silvervale, in a toxic way. I agree with everything Bao said here, and I will always be grateful to her and my friends for what they did for me, and proud what I was able to do for them too. That's the most fucked up part about this whole time, is like, what did I do? Like, what did I do? And like, why was I even considered at all? I felt like she was so much more successful, and I felt like she had everything that I could dream of, and like there was no need to kick the ladder down. There was no need. If Bao, of any of my friends, had come to us before making things public, they would have found out the motivations behind what Red did. Cinder, don't downplay Red's actions, please, and thank you. I already said my piece 7 fucking streams ago about Red. Don't fucking try to downplay what he did. Fuck off. Bao was never considered a threat. Someone put that idea into her head because it's not something ever said in Red messages. No, Red just hated her guts. This is lying via a mission. Like, sure, he didn't see her as a threat, he just hated her. And he tried to sabotage her the moment he saw the chance. Like, come on. Come on, Cinder. Come on. Don't fucking protect Red, for fuck's sake. Oh, the critiques in this documentation. Like, I don't plan to make it like Muujin did 5-6 hours. I'm gonna condense it as much as possible. It's probably gonna be an hour, but I'm gonna try to condense it as much as fucking humanly possible. How could you accuse me of being a thief when I spent 5 hours talking to our editor, telling him and ensuring him that I will never stop being his friend, even if he took an exclusivity deal with you? And it would mean I would only have 2 editors for my channel. Like that. And like that still did not stop me from considering your financial well-being and the success and growth of your channel. Like I explained when going over Bao's document, our editor never told Red or I about this conversation with Bao. We had no idea it ever happened. Red was the only one who had a problem with our editor working with Bao, and only after December 24. Before that, it wasn't a problem for either of us, except initially, like I explained in the Bao section. Red's conversation with Nano about it was January 2025, 2 months before Bao's conversation with our editor. Okay, so just because you had no idea about this conversation doesn't exclude the actions, you know? Like, I don't know why the deflection. Like, it seriously, the more I read now and the more things I now remember, Sinder is still not at the point where she is fixing herself. There are some flags in my fucking head that are happening. There are genuinely some flags happening in my head. And I don't like it. Like this is why I'm heavily like criticizing any pyropuff that I'm in any sort of direct contact with about them defending Cinder's behavior, because no, she is still not better than herself. There are still the fucking tendencies that are still there. Like, you do not know how many times I was told to put in my Google Doc the fact that you had a significant other. Oh yeah, that was a good part about Bao, where she did not at all leak the fact that Red and Cinder were in a relationship. I appreciate Bao not putting my relationship in her document while under pressure from Shylily and the other. Yeah, this was one of the how do I say this, slip-ups Bao did. Because at this point, like, we were at that time period, we already knew that Cinder and Red were in a relationship due to a third party leaking it. But we knew now that Shylily was pressuring Bao to leak it first. Yeah, our other friends do so, but I would never do that to anyone. She claimed that I would. Red and I being in a relationship doesn't prove I've seen all his messages, which you should have, because he was your manager, and you don't at all give a manager full autonomy. Never. Because the risk of them going rogue is always there. Now, some people would say, oh, but that would just be another stressor for Sinder, who is already busy and stuff like that. True, and they were trying to give me examples of how CEOs and stuff like that. One thing is a CEO of a company. Another is a fucking VTuber. You know? A CEO has a shit ton of employees. Cinder had only fucking one. And that was Red. Not that hard to fucking monitor his messages. All she had to do was make a profile where both of them had access to. And she could just read the messages. Took at max an hour, at the worst case scenario, and just scroll. Just scroll. Simple. It is very simple. I don't know why people try to compare this to actual companies, because they're not that. They're separate. They're separate instances, separate stuff. Like, common sense is lost in this during this drama and VTubing sphere. A lot of them don't have common sense. Like, holy fuck balls. My friends had no way of knowing that, or not just because we were together. However, Nana lied about the alleged years of manipulation and abuse she suffered. The abuse, she lied. The manipulation, on the other hand, I'm sorry, but I'm never gonna fucking give you a benefit of the doubt on that. Like I said, in the manipulation case, it was literally the two sayings, you're shot but the bullet missed, and woe is me, would somebody riddle me of this meddling priest. These are the two sentences that can completely explain the manipulation, because I genuinely believe it. That was manipulation. Manipulation doesn't need to be constantly there. You just need to fucking stir the pot a little bit and for that something to happen, which it did, and that counts for manipulation. Welcome to court, boys. Welcome to court 101, criminal court specifically. Then I can see why my friends wouldn't believe it, and I don't know about any of these things. I actually did, but the story Nano told them what isn't true. So I looked at, when I read your apology, I was just looking for some semblance of what, just wanted to know if you would know what to say. I just wanted to know if you ever had had thought of me as a close friend, or it was just one side or not. And I felt like I still did not know by the end of reading your apology. And that really fucking sucks. And now I just don't know what to think or what to believe, how easily I could have turned into this into a personal vendetta. But I kept it strictly about the people and the clients that were affected and how their careers were put on pause because suddenly a month-long project was put on hold, and to pivot so suddenly, especially when so many VTuber debuts are tied around a holiday or a birthday or on dates that cannot be changed. When I wrote my apology, I was blindsided by what Red did and said about her to Nano behind my back, and everyone thought it was my fault. I couldn't accurately explain everything that happened between Red and I over Bao with the pressure I was under. But I also felt I couldn't own up to the way I treated Bao and the role I played making her feel the way she did without the prior context. I did not know what to do, what to say, or how to say it, and I said the bare minimum. Bao deserved better at that time, and I hope I can make it right now. How Bao blamed the pyropops or stuff like that. Like, I'm sorry, Sinder, but that door is closed. Bao mentions that she kept her document about the people and her clients that were affected. Was she talking about these clients? Bao wouldn't have known what really happened to their projects, but Nano did. Yeah, I remember this. God fucking damn, that was scummy as shit. She doesn't regret a single thing canceling all of these people. I know for a fact Katie when she saw this, she was. I've been around Katie's streams long enough to see how she is. She probably saw this and she was. Like, Katie doesn't explain her, how do I say this? She very much is tight-lipped and keeps to herself a lot. But fuck me, when she saw all of this and her name canceling and stuff like that, she was probably mega pissed. But she has a model right now, so I don't think she will do anything, but especially since she paid for it and it's probably done by now. But who knows? Who knows with Katie? Like, I could see Katie just canceling it. Fuck it. You know, fuck money. Fuck it. Numi forgave you when you didn't come to her concert. Okay, we know that she actually came to the concert. The only thing she lied about on her stream. I'm choosing to believe this was just a mistake in the heat of the moment, not a deliberate lie. I don't know at this point. There's a portion of this section below talking about Numi's concert where I'll talk about this again. I feel like at every single pivotal moment when you had the choice to be good person, good friend, you choose not to be. And no matter how many times me and our friends try to wrap our heads around it, to make sense of it, we can't. We can't because every single time we've come to the realization that it's not what we would have cared for. At some point, what are you even trying to one up? Okay, hold up, let me just double check on the person right now on Discord. Hold up. Hold up. I'm gonna take a break. My little brother needs me. Family first. Even found family. Even though he's not my biological kin, I see him as family. So, be right back.
Boom boom boom. Yeah. Boom boom boom. Boom boom boom. Boom boom boom. Yeah. Boom boom boom. Boom boom boom. Boom boom boom. Yeah. Boom boom boom. Boom boom boom. Boom boom boom. Yeah. Boom boom boom. 你带二。boom boom 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 boom椰子爱的，呀，嘿，one two，呀，boom boom boom，boom boom boom，boom boom boom，呀，boom boom boom，boom boom boom，boom boom boom。Yeah. Boom boom boom. Boom boom boom. Boom boom boom. Yeah. Boom boom boom. 你带二，有着地点味啊，我妈修过没味，有着这样的家，大娘。Boom boom boom. 摸个摸个，娘，这不得笑。Boom boom boom. 呀，娘娘。哇，boom boom boom. 좋아해도 야 해 완투 야 붐붐붐 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 야 우야 붐붐붐 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 야 붐붐붐 붐붐붐 붐붐붐
Alright. Alright. I think we're okay. Had to give some loving but stern brotherly advice. The only pivotal moments I consumed Bao was talking about was the with Numi's concert that she just spoke about, and possibly when I didn't say anything after her model was cancelled in August. Bao and the rest of my friends didn't understand because they didn't have the full story. I will never try to one-up of any of my friends, including Bao. And even then, they're bound to get jealous as a content creator. But what you chose to do with that jealousy is what defines your character. You cannot let it make you spiteful or fuel it to forge your own success, because when you're a streamer, yeah, you can share an audience with people, but at the end of the day, you're building your own community. You shouldn't focus on trying to take what other people have, because that's not how you get it. That's what made them they made for themselves. I felt, from my point of view, that they were much more further ahead than me than I could imagine, and I got kicked down the ladder that I feel like I initially gave you. Jealousy didn't feel anything Red and I did. Kinda, yes, for Silvervale, but back to the point. Someone else was telling Bao that was the case. None of the evidence shows I or Red ever been jealous of anyone, because we weren't. Silvervale? Really? You were very insecure when you're being constantly compared, and that's a form of jealousy. Anyhow, because they were comparing you to her. That is jealousy a little bit. I don't know what Bao is talking about when she implies I was taking other people's communities for myself, Silvervale, and then kick down the ladder on her in January, which is true. Red made a mistake that I did not know about to stop it from happening. I agree Bao was someone who was kind to a Vtuber much smaller than her, someone she had no obligation to show kindness to, but she did, and she so did the rest of my friends, and I'll always be thankful to them for it, everything they've done for me. I could not have this go on for so long and not know about it. This wasn't going on, and not for as long as my friends were misled to believe by Nano. Any of the problems Red had with Bao only started December 24. If I were them, I can understand why it'd be unbelievable too. So what? It still lasted for a couple of months. So this is like an excuse a little bit. Nah. I feel like I was tasked with an impossible choice and I hate it. But I had to be in a position where it had to be me to say something, or else no one would. And it's not about whether or not I am right or wrong, and it's the fact that I didn't even want to be in a position to begin with. And I know that for so many people to be affected, that it was the right decision to do so. But it really fucking sucks that I had to do it in the first place. And I feel like I have been given the impossible task so many times already in my career. If I don't say something, no one else will. Just like Buff said, Bao had an impossible choice given to her by everyone involved. With the fire VTuber that happened recently, a lot of us didn't say anything until the person who was affected said something. We all went to said person, hey, what do you want to do? Now, here's the thing. This type of stuff it is what happens a lot of the times behind the scenes. Case in point, me with Sylvie Spark. If I didn't open up my DMs and explain and share them around a little bit what he was talking about Comfy Lennox, my friend, nobody would have known, because he already had allegations, but none of them stuck. And I, somebody who, one, has a clean rep sheet, and two, is completely, was at that point, completely unconnected. Like, completely unconnected to Taiga, to Len, to everyone. I was a third party out of nowhere. And after that, I basically became kind of a watchdog against his behavior. A lot of people, when for instance, the whole spat between him and Wild Hearts, a lot of fucking people were begging me to speak about what he did. And I ignored it until I was notified of the message that Hearts was safe. I was wondering what the fuck is going on. So I asked the person who sent me, oh, Hearts attempted. I'm like, what? And that was shocking for me, because he promised in front of Marina to Len that he would stop that pattern of behavior. 3 months after, he again contributed to somebody attempting on their own life. I was not even mad at that point. I was extremely afraid and disappointed, because now I have to return to the scene where I have to keep an eye on him. Even though I conveniently sent a lot of people to stop messaging me about him, but now he went back on his word and went back to his old habits when the heat has died down. And again, for a third time, he contributed to somebody's attempt. I'm not saying he is the sole reason why they attempted. By the way, he tried to paint that picture behind the blog of me saying that I said that he was the sole reason. No, I said directly contributed. And that's a fact, he did. There was a lot of infighting, and a lot of people were telling Hearts to off herself because she's trans and whatnot. And that did contribute, but it all started with him having a spite with her again. And he's saying, well, I apologized. Well, since he pretty much stalks my channels, or he has people stalking me, Hearts, so I'm gonna tell you straight up. Hearts went to my DMs and thanked me for calling you out. You said, behind a block, trying to negate your shit, Sylvie, that you apologized and you had she has no grievances with you. Why would she thank me privately for calling your fucking fat ass out if she herself did not think you directly contributed to her attempt? You made Taiga attempt on their life. You contributed to Taiga attempting on their own life. Then my friend Lennox, who I was directly messaging when you and Marina were fucking trying to slander her on their stream during the Adora situation. I was there when she attempted. Not physically, but I was messaging them. I was panically telling people to check on Len. And now all of a sudden, there's 3 months after all of that, you did the same shit again. I'm saying this because I know for a fact that after my call out, he and a lot of his other buddies are behind the scenes are trying to slander me like he tried to do with Len. With me. So I know what you're doing, cunt. Fuck off. It was so fucking infuriating when I saw that, because now all of a sudden I'm worrying about my friend's safety again. Because he had a spat with Hearts before, and they made up. And all of a sudden, he again lashed out because Hearts said Hassan shocked his dog. Yeah, that's the fucking reason why all of that happened, by the way. Because Sylvie cannot help not fucking be a Hassan simp. Yeah, and that was the most something that could have been easily just ignored. So what would happen if Len all of a sudden did something you perceived as something, and you again attack them? Like, he's bitching about me about that. I'm sorry I'm talking about this, but I have to, because this is the same reason why a lot of people said, speak up about Sylvie, because I'm basically the only one who can actually criticize him for his bad behavior and make it stick, because he cannot at any point, nor his little buddies like Nyara and Huif, try anything towards me. Because I'm not a right-wing chud. I'm not a transphobe. I'm not a homophobe. I'm nothing what the usual easy targets are, who are, by the way, gross fucking cunts. They're extreme fucking cunts and arseholes. Like, seriously. I agree with that. Like, Grixit? He's a fucking cunt. Rev, I don't like him. So what? Like I said, I'm not their perfect target. That's why they never fucking try against me, unless they do, when they do, they act stupid because nobody believes them. But yeah, this fucking thing, Allah didn't say anything until the right person says that. I was the right person in that situation. I know this for a fact, and I'm gonna tell you straight up. A lot of the times it's peer pressure. You know? It is peer pressure. You feel obligated because you're the only one who can actually make something stick. And now, that can be a good thing, but also a bad thing. In this case, it was kind of a bad thing because it further on made Nano's lies stick on Sinder. And once again, Sinder does not have the same viewership she did before now. Like, all this drama now died down. She had 4K viewers for a month, basically. And now the drama has died down. People basically forgot. And she has half of the viewership than when she... than the couple of weeks after she returned. Silver is basically untouched. Hell, I'm gonna say straight up, I think she has more viewers now, a little bit. I believe Bao made the best choice with the information she had, the state of mind she was in. Yeah, because she was right after her surgery. And for all the people she was thinking about making it, I forgive her for what she chose to do. What I don't understand, why the choice to make anything public was left to Bao. Because Red screwed her over, and they probably knew. Actually, no, they probably didn't, because they were adamant on thinking you and Red were doing the same. You were co-signing what Red did because of the silver stuff. Like I said, the silver stuff really does not help Cinder at all. She should have just fucked off from Silvervale by her own, even if Silver did not tell her, which she should have told her to fuck off. Why didn't they took to Nano to say something with all the evidence was from her DMs? Because Nano's DMs would incriminate her. Bao has, in that point, much squeakier clean stuff, but because at the end of the day, she was screwed over out of nowhere. Why was Bao, which Sinder you admit as well, why was Bao's responsibility to say anything no one else would? Because, like said, it's because she was the most squeaky clean out of them all. And was directly... I mean, Cotton is, but... Cotton was blindsided as well, and... Yeah, I'm not gonna say much. Why would she put the pressure on her in the state she was in? Because she was easily then... could have easily been gaslit to do it, because remember, she was right after her surgery. Right after her surgery. So she was in a vulnerable state of mind a little bit. More prone to gaslighting and stuff like that. Speculation. Nana could have said she wouldn't make anything public without Bao. Nana knew the whole story was a lie all along. It couldn't stand on its own, so she wasn't going to say anything unless it was backed up by Bao. Yes, because Bao had the most squeaky clean out of them all. Squeaky clean reputation. Well, squeaky clean, let's say alibi, rep sheet, whatever the fuck. Out of all of the girls in here. I just wish my apology had any semblance of evidence that you know, that you ever knew me as a person, not just someone you had to surpass. Bao was never someone I felt the need to surpass. Someone else must have convinced her that was the case. I cared about Bao, but Bao was my friend that I wasn't treating like my friend for too long. I'm sorry I wasn't the better one. Why did Shylily have to contact Bao for Nano? Shylily encouraged Nano to bring her DMs to the people affected, including Bao, but Shylily was the one who ended up reaching out to Bao. Why? I don't think Nano could confront Bao herself. Nano only showed Shylily the select screenshots of what happened in her DMs with Red over Bao's model, not the full context. The difference was Shylily was already on her side after she told Nano she was being manipulated. If Nano went to Bao alone, Bao wouldn't have any of that pre-established context, meaning Nano would have to explain what happened to her model by itself. Bao would have obviously wanted to see all the messages of it happening, and Nano would have been incriminating herself. But if Lily was the one to contact Bao for her, Lily could explain Red's manipulation and the messages. No, don't put them in quotation marks. There was manipulation. Shut the fuck up. It's just not the manipulation everybody was saying. And then again, like I said, I'm a criminal court lawyer. I know how manipulation works. I've studied it in law uni from actual trained PhD psychiatrics and criminal psychologists. I know how it works. It's very much more complex and nuanced than a lot of people fucking know. Alright? Then Nano wouldn't need to show the full context of the messages about Bao and her model because Lily was vouching for her. She just had to nod along. Bao wouldn't have doubted Lily's word. Was Bao's model really cancelled a second time? Throughout the documentation, I've been writing under the assumption that Bao's model with Nano was cancelled twice. First on August and on January 25, August 24. Nano told Red in January the model was on her commission list and went as far as to offer to cancel a second time herself, eventually agreeing to so in their deal. Ah yes, the bribery. But Nano's document, which Lily presumably wrote for her with the information, Nano gave her, and Bao's document never mentioned her model being cancelled another time, and after August 24, She said on stream that after her model was cancelled the first time, it was shelved. So I shelved it, and I hope that maybe one day Nana will be free enough to take my commission. Unless Bao was lying, I do believe her model was officially rescheduled with Nano after August 24, meaning it couldn't have been cancelled for the second time. What I did think happened was when Bao's model was cancelled, she told Nano of the above. Nano kept Bao's model on her commission list, something like an indefinite wait list section, unbeknownst to Bao when Red approached Nano about her exclusivity deal and brought up Bao's name. Nano said it was on her list, not telling him the context of it being there. After encouraging Red to explain his reasoning towards her, she offered to cancel Bao's model forever. Okay, we're going into fucking semantics at this point. Yeah, you could say it's like that, Sinder, but it also means that she probably commissioned her again and she canceled again. Like, it could be also that. So I applaud her for saying it's speculation, but it's not enough for me. Not enough for me. I'm sorry. Not enough. Because Nano didn't cancel it this time. She never had to confront Bao because the model was never rescheduled. Nano knew she wasn't accountable for Bao's model when she made Red her offer, but Red did not know that. She used it to negotiate with Red to get what she wanted at Bao's expense, offering to cancel it basically nothing. In exchange, in making this deal, she just had to forever kick the model down the road, never making time for it, while Bao will forever cling on to the hope that she would. Yeah, I remember this one to understand Bao, especially if I cancel her for the second time. Nana never showed Bao Lily on my friends the messages where she and Red were talking about Bao's model in January. She never showed when it was first brought up, when Nano offered to cancel it, or when they made their agreement. Nano lied to my friends and told them that she never made a deal with Red, like it said in the Nano document, and they believed her. I'm gonna say this straight up as well, because it will happen. Like, I'm calling it right now live. These girls are gonna be in a drama again. Somebody is gonna piss someone off, and then the leaks will flow. Like, genuinely, leaks will flow. Whether Bao will release the DMs, whether Lily will release the DMs, whether Nano will release the DMs is a scorched earth method, because Nano, I'm gonna be honest with you, even though I very much suspect where the fuck all of her money went, because she lives in a fucking enclave in Brazil, she is like the top one, like the 1% basically. What's not like, if somebody screws Nano over, Nano just basically got scorched earth because she probably saved up enough money to live off the rest of her life out of it, probably with a side business or something like that in Brazil. But God save your souls if anybody screws each other over and leaks start flowing out of nowhere. Like, I don't believe Silvervale will do it unless you really screw her over. But yeah. Let's see. She never showed it happening, and nothing happened to prove it other than Nano's rigging getting paid for, including Bao's model never actually getting cancelled for a second time. No matter what Red said to Nano in that conversation, no one that was named in there agreed upon suffered any losses due to it before it was cancelled. Again, just because your bullet missed the fucking target doesn't mean I shouldn't prosecute your attempt for it, Sinder. There's a reason why in criminal law an attempt is almost equated to when the attempt is successful. There's a reason why it's almost equated, you know? There's a reason why attempts are also punished. Oh, but I have to explain that to laymen and they don't care. Like, I'm done explaining to drama tubers about these patterns of thinking, because at the end of the day, they don't care. So why should I explain to them? In November of 23, Nana was excited to do Bao's model. Okay, did Nana even want to do Bao's model? Speculation. Before there was all designed for it, all that was known that there would be a mommy model, and it was planned for June 24. Bao showed Red and I finished design model at WaveCon March of 24. Bao's model was planned June 24, but the end of July, it hadn't even been started. Nano told Red that she was considering canceling her model. She encouraged her to do what she thought was best for her. So, like, here's the thing. All this encouraging to do the best for her isn't a getaway excuse. Like, a lot of manipulators also say, "Oh, but you have to do what's best for you. I just want you. I'm just care about your well-being, you know, and stuff like that." When they're manipulating stuff, like, a lot of people don't understand that that's a kind of a thing. Okay. Like, it is kind of a gaslighting guilt trip a little bit, / guilt trip, and Sinder did fucking admit she did that to Nado at the about the last time they talked about Silvervale. Like, she admits that she's prone to do that, and Red does that as well. Like, I can't give you an excuse about that, mate. I'm gonna give it a little bit of more concise explanation in the video when it eventually happens, but still. Nano canceled Bao's model at the start of August 24. Yeah, 5th of August, 6th of August, I remember that. Bao said on her stream 27th of April 25 that her model was shelved after it was cancelled. After negotiating a deal with Red in January 25, Nano offered to cancel the Bao model forever in exchange for paying her model's rigging that she discount from our next commission. Essentially, canceling it for nothing. When she canceled her deal with him about a month later because she wanted to work with Silvervale, she told Red she didn't care about Bao. Just true. I really don't care about Bao and Cotton. Plain and clear sight. Nano is a little bit of a bitch. Nano was excited to work with Bao in November 23, but after the design was made, she didn't want to make the actual model for it. I'm not gonna say that the design was out of respect for Bao's plans, but it's plausible that it could have been a factor. Nano canceled the model once without having to deal with the guilt canceling a second time, offered to cancel it forever for her own benefit. Red coming to her in January was just an outside excuse for her to never have to actually do it, while getting something she wanted out of the same time. It doesn't sound like Nana wanted to make Bao's model, no matter when she made it in time. Do you know what Nana specifically said when she did want to work with it? Freaking out with my comms, and I think I just want to do Sinder stuff. Yep, it overbooked herself. Okay, we're addressing Lily's response to the apology now. Alright. This is gonna be juicy. I heard it's good. I heard it's juicy. Shylily's reply to my apology is what cancelled me. With over 8 million views. It's not 8 million. Maybe as a time she wrote this. It's full of false accusations made without showing any evidence and triggering language to turn people against me, painting me in the bad light as possible, the same way Now's document was written. I'm willing to bet that most people just read Shylily's reply and nothing else. It's much easier to read this than read my whole apology, and who wouldn't trust Shylily? Well, sadly, your apology sucked arse. Like, Lily's reputation back then was kind of pristine, so of course she banked on it. And it was successful. The absolute audacity to sit here and continue to manipulate and gaslight is absolute insanity. The first thing Shylily did was absolutely discredit anything I said in my apology as unbelievable, claiming that I was all manipulation, gaslighting. Some of it was. No one was going to question her. She's Shylily. Shylily was involved in everything from the start. Convinced Nano that she was being manipulated and organized my friends against me, and eventually wrote Nano's document for her. Fair enough, but there was manipulation and there was some gaslighting, and you admitted it to the latter part. You don't want to admit the manipulation because that's a nail in your coffin. If you do, that's something that will stick forever. And I get it, but she and Red did try to manipulate it a little bit. Like I said, manipulation doesn't have to be continuous over a course of years. It can be sporadic as well. Now I'm speaking to you all of this as a professional fucking criminal court lawyer, right? With some experience in prosecution, but now I'm fully working criminal court right now. I've seen a lot of this shit in the two and a half months I've been in criminal court right now. I've seen a lot of it to recognize patterns now a little bit. And the pain, the mental torment. And not just that, but I've been educated by an experienced judge and basically being explained by multiple psychologists, psychiatrics. One of them has a PhD, you know, and they all explain me how manipulation works because I ask them. So I kind of know my shit a little bit, you know. I didn't Google it, and not just by a textbook, but from experienced people telling me how it works. To recognize it, because at the end of the day, I will have that similar case where manipulation is involved. And guess what? I have to recognize it to make a verdict or prosecute it or defend it or accuse it, depending on what it is, you know? And I firmly believe that Red and Sinder were manipulating Nano. It's just not the common manipulation everybody that is a layman has seen on TV or read in a book or manga and stuff like that. Like I said, manipulation has multiple fucking forms. Continuous and sporadic. It can also be a one-time thing, you know? You see a guy who's angry as fuck and he's barely holding back to kicking someone's, beating the ever-living shit out of someone, and somebody just yells, fuck him up, and there go. That's a form of manipulation as well. Yeah, and sadly, you're now also responsible for that because you triggered it. Sure, he did most of the work, but if you didn't involve yourself, they probably would not have done it. You know? Do I make sense in everybody who is willing, who in the chat who is listening? No one's okay. Like I said, the pain and mental torment you've caused to one of the closest and most supportive of you has been devastating. I've never been so heartbroken and hurt badly for my friends. Yes, I hurt Numi when I chose business over a concert, and I apologized, but I was still there at the show for her. I was a terrible friend to Bao and should have talked with her instead of ignoring the problem with Red. I selfishly left Tricky behind in Japan when I wanted to make the most of my time there. I'm not innocent of ever hurting my friends. Well, thank fuck some accountability for after a long while, Sinder. You're the fakest person I've ever had the displeasure of supporting, reading and hearing how you only really viewed me behind my back just for screenshots of your man, but also your very own messages while having to sit here and read these bullshit lies spun make me want to vomit. The only message I ever sent to anybody how I viewed Shylily behind her back was how I looked up to her as a role model, and that once I became a part owner of a Gamer Subs, I felt pressure. Yo, Can I also make a bold prediction a little bit? I think Shylily will eventually release her own little fucking Google Docie that's very long as well. I don't believe she's gonna stay quiet. She's gonna stay quiet for long. I think, like when I said about Sinder biding her time and she was gonna explain her side of the story better, I think Shylily will do it as well. Who knows what Shylily will fucking release? I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, she has to also present very good stuff because it's not a good look for her. This is what I said to Numi when I apologizing to her about her concert when and wasn't a situation that was brought up by anyone before Shylily's reply to my already posted apology. Red said he thought we'd have to start considering her competition if she was going to treat me differently for seemingly no reason and was now working with our most valued artist. Again, very, very parasocially attached to your artist. You shouldn't be doing that. I didn't feel that way, and those weren't my words. Well, blame Red. Why are you defending Red? Blame Red. Just say it is. This would have all been better if just said that's Red's fault. To claim that you didn't know a single thing, had zero awareness what your man was up to, when everybody who shared even a single moment with you knows how you basically operate as the same person sharing every single waking moment. I didn't say I did not know a single thing Red ever did. I did not know about the specifics of what happened in Red's conversations with Nano and the other few instances shown in the document. He summarized things to me but didn't tell me everything and lied to me about their exclusivity deal. You mean the clique deal. Not a real exclusivity deal, but a clique deal. I did not read his messages myself. I didn't question what he told me because I trusted him. The only thing and you shouldn't have, even though that's why you never fucking mix business and pleasure. You never employ your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your partner if they're non-binary or something like that. You should never employ them about this stuff. You should separate that fucking thing because shit like this will happen. The only thing I lied about was not knowing about Red talking Nano about spite, and that was to not make the situation worse for myself. And Lily, but Darren, and Silver, but go on. Lily and my friends who corroborated we operated as the same person did not have any idea how I read and worked together at home, or even the fact that we lived together. The same way they didn't even see us argue or knew that I cheated on him in the past. Then blaming everything on me works if it was to believe we share every single message, thought, and feeling before we act upon them. Yeah, but you should have had access to his messages. Like, I'm sorry, but that's how you do that professionally. While loving to jump in the slightest opportunity to turn your slanderous self as soon as the opportunity was given when talking about your friends is sickening. I don't know what Shylily thinks she's referring to. I've never slandered any of my friends. What Red said was his own messages to Nano about Bao were his own opinions, which... As explained, Red didn't maliciously lie about anyone like Shylily did about me, and only said what he believed was true from his own experience. Red is his own person with his own thoughts, feelings, opinions, and experiences, but his own involvement in what happened was intentionally ignored to pin all the blame on me. I've experienced your own actions without Red in a situation where your own screenshotted words you expressed the pressure to live to what Lily is and proceeds to throw one of your most loyal and supportive friends under the bus after months of continuously planning to just because you consistently chose business over friends, never feeling bad for him. Lily brings up what happened with Numi's concert, something I had no idea I was expected to address since it was already settled between us, wasn't related to any of the accusations made against me. I'm going to break this part down to pieces. Shylily did not experience this. This was a private conversation between Numi and I. She said this was in my own screenshotted words, but there were never any screenshots of any of this situation made public. She chose to address this publicly. Okay, I did not proceed to throw Numi under the bus. I said this while I was apologizing to her for the decision I made, ending with me trying to make my mistakes right by facing my fears and getting on stage or rescheduling a collab I had with Lily to be at her concert sooner. I did make it to her concert. I was there to support her. Lily says months of continuously planning, but the first message of Nuni trying to plan anything to me was 2.5 weeks before I decided to not to perform, 5 weeks before the show itself. There was nothing planned beyond me on the stage besides my own hesitancy, not even having songs picked out. Bao said this was being planned over half a year, which may be true for the concert itself, but not me being involved. However, there's something that you probably, like, Numi definitely talked to Sinder, and you said something and you probably forgot. Your own words say you probably forgot. So this could be false. But then again, that was in person, so nobody can prove otherwise. Just my spitballing here. Just because you consistently chose business over friends, never have feeling bad for them. I did choose business over friends when it was between VCar and after my promotion to be part owner making it to Numi's concert, but I did feel bad about my decisions before I had even heard it from Numi. My tweet is evidence of that. I was wrong and I apologized to her. I was still at her show supporting her. Me canceling my performance had nothing to do with business, everything to do with my own fears and insecurities. Just earned the bag computer. Okay, our collab had nothing to do with earning the bag. I had already earned plenty the day before on the actual launch day. It was about being responsible as the new part owner of the brand and representing them during a very important launch weekend alongside Shylily. If I wanted to compete with Lily, then why would I have asked for a collab? Why would I have wanted to share the screen with her in that case? Lily can argue that you do to milk the viewership out of her. That is not a very. It's a semi-good retort, but it's still something I could just retort back. I wanted to collab to work together, so her card game as big of a success we can make for the entire company. I rescheduled a collab on the day, oblivious to my friend's event in my blind excitement for VCard. As explained before, it was a mistake, and I made another mistake choosing it over the concert. But the collab was rescheduled after I already pulled out of the performance. I agreed to be in the show, but never made a promise to Numi I would perform the day before, and Numi even told Red it was okay I didn't do it either. Yeah, but you also then go back and went back. Wait, why is she flip-flopping? I vividly remember you saying that Numi said it just so she didn't want to offend you or Red with this. But it sounds a lot worse for me to literally claim I did break a promise to a friend for money. Agreeing to do something, making a promise to a friend have a very different connotations, especially when making claims to the public without any evidence. You lied about them instead of blaming me for a collab you rescheduled. Shylily said I blamed her for missing an obligation I agreed to. No, what I agreed to was to perform. I didn't perform because of my own reasons. Not going to the concert is what she's talking about, which Numi's own words I wasn't obligated to do. But Numi then said but you didn't admit that Numi said it just so she would be still cordial to you, then not argue with you or start beef with you, because Numi is Numi. I didn't lie to Numi, and I didn't blame Lily, and the fact that she thinks that I did points out the importance she gives herself when it isn't about her. She made my apology to Numi about her when it wasn't. I took accountability for what I did and apologized to my friend, still made it to the show after our collab. When I made the decision not to go to Numi's concert, I told her I felt obligated to be around VCard's launch as a partial Game of Subs owner now. My collab with Lily was planned for that day, but even if it wasn't happening, my choice would have likely been the same. That's not a good look, but yeah. When I apologized to her, I told her I felt pleasure to live up to what Shylily is for gamer subs in the Vtuber community, now that I had the same position. I wasn't blaming Lily, it was about my new position as part owner. Lily was the only example to follow in the footsteps, and she set the bar I felt needed to hold myself for the company. It's okay, that still sounds like you're kind of blaming Lily for that. Like, nah, It still sounds like that. I'm sorry, but it sounds like that. You're not doing yourself a service there. She should not have at all said this. I did, like, she really screwed herself over. Fucking hell. I then told Numi that I made plans to collab with Lily the day after VCard's launch day, and that I planned it as early as possible to make it to her show. I should have been more clear when I said I don't really know how to tell Lily no, as explained in the VCard section in this document. This was not at all blaming Lily for the collab I planned with her, nor that was the main reason I made the choice I did. I said I shouldn't have thought the product launch over my friend's once-in-a-lifetime event. Boys, I have to end the stream because we have guests. Sorry. See you later.